El Nino is coming, and it's going to really shake up the weather here in Germany. We may be on the brink of one of the most severe weather events in decades. Scientists fear a monster El Nino is about to be unleashed very soon.
We'll take a look at what impact this has worldwide and on us here in Europe, so make sure to stick around until the end. A warm welcome to you all.
Who among you actually speaks Spanish? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I took Spanish in school, but I've forgotten almost everything. Luckily, though, today, we only need two Spanish words, El Niño and La Niña. If you're as interested in these weather phenomena as I am, please consider subscribing to the channel. It costs nothing, you'll never miss a video again, and you'll be helping me out a lot. And if you're already subscribed, giving the video a thumbs up helps a lot. 5,000 likes is the magic number for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks, everyone.
So, what's it all about today? El Niño. Almost everyone has probably heard the term before, but what does it mean? And why is science so worried right now? Let's start from the beginning. El Niño is not a storm, not a hurricane, not a catastrophe that comes with a bang. It is a large-scale climate phenomenon. More precisely, it is part of the so-called ENSO cycle. That stands for El Niño Southern Oscillation. It's a natural cycle that results from the interaction between sea temperatures and atmospheric pressure in the tropical Pacific. The cycle has three phases: El Niño, the warm phase, La Niña, the cool phase, and a neutral state in between.
We're currently in a transition phase, and this transition is quite something. That's because the Earth is just emerging from a waning La Niña and heading straight into an El Niño. And based on what the current models show, this El Niño could turn into a real monster. But what actually happens during an El Niño? Imagine the Pacific Ocean as a giant bathtub, and someone has just tweaked the water temperature a bit. Surface temperatures in the eastern tropical Pacific are rising significantly. This alters wind systems, currents, and precipitation patterns all over the world. The southern US and parts of Europe are getting more rain and face an increased risk of flooding. In northern North America, on the other hand, it's getting warmer and drier than usual. And what I find particularly fascinating is that El Niño suppresses the hurricane season in the Atlantic. While it fosters conditions for tropical cyclones in the eastern Pacific, it simultaneously creates a kind of atmospheric windbreak in the Atlantic that effectively slows down hurricanes.
So far, so familiar, but now it gets interesting. The European Centre for Medium-Range Weather Forecasts, or ECMWF for short, has revised its climate models several times in recent weeks.
As of January of this year, forecasts were still predicting a moderate El Niño. By February, they were already predicting a stronger event. And the latest model data from March indicate an 80% chance of a truly strong El Niño, and some of the more aggressive model runs have even calculated a 22% chance of a so-called super El Niño, and this is exactly where a term comes into play that climate researchers utter only with a slight shudder: Godzilla El Niño. Only those rare events in which El Niño becomes so extreme that it triggers a chain of global catastrophes earn this nickname. The last time this happened was in 2015 and 2016. Temperatures in the eastern Pacific soared to record levels, and the consequences were devastating. Extreme droughts, floods, collapsed coral reefs, disrupted harvest cycles, all occurring simultaneously across multiple continents.
The risk that it will come to that again this time is not very high yet, but it does exist. But why does El Niño threaten to become so strong this time?
Let's take a look at what's happening beneath the ocean's surface, because that's exactly where the key lies. In the upper layers of the ocean, just below the water's surface, massive reserves of heat are currently lying dormant. This heat hasn't reached the surface yet, but it's there. And when this stored energy begins to rise, the El Niño engine really kicks into gear. Meteorologists refer to this as oceanic Kelvin waves, giant underwater waves of warm water moving eastward that heat surface temperatures from below. In March of this year, these waves are already clearly measurable and are gaining momentum. At the same time, the trade winds that normally blow over the tropical Pacific are weakening. Under normal conditions, these winds keep the warm water in the western Pacific near Australia and Indonesia. When they subside, this water drifts eastward towards South America toward El Niño, and that is exactly what we are experiencing right now. Wind data show a reversal of typical patterns. The Walker circulation, the atmospheric circulation system closely linked to the ENSO cycle, is noticeably weakening. And for El Niño, that's pure fuel. Warming in the eastern Pacific is already more than 1 degree above the long-term average in some regions.
Hey guys, quick request. YouTube is currently being flooded with hastily thrown together AI content, so-called AI slop. This isn't meant as general AI bashing, but it does make it harder for human creators to stay visible. This video here is not AI slop. It was researched, written, and produced by hand by several people who make their living from this. An editor, a video editor, a marketer, and myself. If content like this matters to you, your subscription helps us tremendously. Every subscription to the channel ensures that we can continue to put time and energy into real, carefully crafted videos. Thank you so much, everyone. And now, let's continue.
That doesn't sound like much, but just think about it for a moment. We're not talking about a bathtub here, but about one of the largest oceans on Earth.
1 degree more across this almost unimaginable expanse of water means an amount of energy that defies imagination. Every fraction of a degree counts, and the system still has the entire summer ahead of it. So we're essentially talking about unlimited power.
At this point, it should also be added, among researchers, there is a limitation they call the spring predictability barrier. I have something like that every morning in the form of a daily work pants barrier.
In the spring, ENSO forecasts are generally more difficult to make because the system reacts particularly sensitively to small changes. In short, it's not yet certain what will become of this El Nino, but all signs point in the same direction, and they point toward a monster El Nino. What does that mean for us? Well, if El Nino does indeed become as strong as the models fear, then we must expect significantly altered weather patterns in the winters of 2026 and 2027. Winters in temperate climates will be very warm, and weather extremes such as droughts or heavy rainfall will become even more extreme. A strong El Nino would further raise the global average temperature, and this at a time when we're already recording record highs. Incidentally, this is partly due to the last major El Nino in 2023.
Now something even stronger might be coming our way. But of course, there's something good about it too.
Because if we think back to the hurricanes, we know that the models suggest a strong El Nino could calm the Atlantic hurricane season this year. The same force that is blanketing large parts of the world with extreme weather would take the wind out of the sails of tropical storms in the Atlantic. That's how contradictory nature can be.
Yes, in the coming months, we will see much more clearly where things are headed. Of course, I'll keep you updated. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel now, and don't forget to give it a thumbs up so maybe we can hit 5,000 likes. That would make me really happy. And speaking of weather disasters, the next topic is already waiting for us. And
this is really something. There are new alarming indications that the Gulf Stream has shifted, and if these research findings are confirmed, we in Europe could be facing an ice age. We'll take a close look at this topic in the next video. Just click in the top right corner to watch it. As always, there's another video about science and space in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'd say see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.